Welcome to episode 7 of Sullying the Lad. In this episode, we have a very special guest, Mr. Francis Williams from Totally Transformed, one of the original online personal trainers and definitely a comeback king. Listener discretion is advised, as some people may find some of the content distressing. We really hope you find it helpful. Thanks for listening. So, welcome to episode 7 of Sullying the Lad, and I'm very excited. We've got a very special guest on today, Mr. Francis Williams. How are you, Francis?
I'm all right, man. I'm good. Yeah.
Obviously, I know you. You've just met our wonderful Chris O'Sullivan there, who's looking very serious this morning for some reason. Would you like to tell us a quick bit about yourself, where you're from and what you do?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Francis, originally from Banbury in Oxfordshire. Been a personal trainer for the last 10 years here in Brighton, and it's been quite a journey. It was, very exciting in like the first 4 or 5 years, and then sort of went into nutrition, got qualified nutritionist, and then some more coaching, and just sort of stayed on the journey really, and just tried to continue learning, and try to deliver it. It hasn't been a straightforward road, lots of ups and downs, but the journey is still there, and you've got to keep on learning. So great to be invited here. Nice one, man.
Well, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. So I met Francis. God, Francis, how long was it? It must be about nearly 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, about then, mate. About 2013, 14, was it?
Might be, yeah. It was a long time ago. So back in Brighton. So you were doing, it was Body Fit Brighton, wasn't it? Your business at the time. And you were doing, I met you through Facebook. You were doing free, believe this or not, people, free 12-week transformation program, which included everything, the workout, the nutrition and coaching week to week, which was awesome. Can you tell us a bit about that and why you decided to start doing that?
I think what it was with Facebook, at that time, I just got qualified as a personal trainer, and I'd done the fitness instructing, then went on to a boxer-sized company, and then sort of built the business from there. And I paid for some training from this guy, and it was just about how to do Facebook adverts. And the advert was for a free transformation session. So it was just one session, it was 12 weeks. I can't remember doing a free 12-week program with you. I don't know, but anyway. And at that time, hardly nobody knew about Facebook marketing really. So it was all new, and it was great. It was great for me because there's no competition. I could just run adverts and just fill up the business, then turn them off. And when it went quiet, I just run the adverts again. I mean, set it up in the beginning. Let's do like everyone does it now. Everybody knows about it and the next neighbour. But just run a free advert on Facebook. You take them to a landing page where you've done a pre-recorded video. This is all outdated stuff now, but you've done a pre-recorded video. Welcome to Body Fit Brighton. And if you want to achieve this, that, or this, that, and the other, and at that time you could pretty much say anything you wanted in the adverts. Say, do you want to lose weight, get a bikini body, or build muscles? You take your shirt off and with confidence on the beach, and all this stuff. So it was really easy marketing, to be honest. And then you take them there, thank you paid, and they click on another button that goes to a form, and you can ask them, what have you achieved, what have you done before, what are your goals, what's worked, what's not worked, what do you have to eat yesterday for breakfast, lunch and dinner. And then that would then link through to your email, and then you get it through as a message on your phone. From then they get redirected to a thank you page, and another pre-recorded video, and thank you for your contact, we'll be in touch soon. But then by then you've got the form with Form Stack or Woofu, like £5 a month or £10 a month, something like that. And then you run the ads, and then you just get the applications into your phone, and then you'll be able to call the people and say, great, okay, have a chat to them, build a bit of rapport with them, go over their goals and what they want to achieve, and say, great, I'll meet you at the gym at 2 on Wednesday, whatever. And then, so that sort of funnel system, which everyone's a bit more aware about now, and worked really well. So yeah, and that was solid for about 3 years, really.
Yeah, so you're a bit of a trailblazer, really.
At the time, Francis, were
Well,
you
I mean,
based in a gym yourself?
Sorry?
Were you like working in a gym 9 to 5, or were you meeting these clients kind of like outside? What was your day-to-day kind of thing?
It was all freelance. It was all freelance. I mean, I spent 6 months. I applied to an ad in Gumtree about doing boot camps, and I just qualified, so I didn't know what I was doing. But I went to this interview in the park in Portslade, and this guy said, "Do these boot camps for me. We're not going to pay you. Just turn up and do them." And really, there's 3 of us there, and this girl and this guy. They said no. I said, "Yeah, of course I will. It was great." So for those 6 months, I just like kept going to these boot camps on the Hove Lawns with these little printouts that I'd done on the computer. Right, do some burpees, do some press ups, go for a run. But over the summer, by the end of it, there were about 7 people who kept coming back. They're all on a Groupon offer, which this guy was getting the money for, but I didn't care. And I said to the guys, "Listen, it's starting to rain, it's starting to snow. I'll take you to a studio, but I'll have to charge you a £5." So I moved into the Happy Cell studio on Dabbickdale Road, just on like a little circuit, and then bumped into Boxside Boot Camp, and I started training with those guys. I went to borrow one of his dummies things, and he said, "Oh, come join with me." So done that for a year, and that by the end of that, I'd built up enough clients in my personal training business to sort of branch off. So I said to him, "He still makes an hour's a week." And then it went from there. So I'd work in different studios and different gyms, just hide the space.
That's amazing. I think like there's massive business lessons there in terms of paying it forward, and obviously the growth that you experience. Because a lot of people are, especially even when I was on my PT course, there was a question about doing group exercise classes, and everyone in there went, "No, I'm not doing that." And I was sitting there thinking, why would you not do that? And the woman on the course was like, "I do them all exactly what you just said, Francis." She's like, "I do them all the time. I get 15 people in on a Tuesday, 12 on a Thursday, and then over time, 5 or 6 of them become your personal clients." Then it's almost like it's a great advert for you. You can stand in front of those people and show them how good you are at coaching and build an instant rapport with them. So I don't see why people would be so negative about that.
You can't underestimate free work either. Like, I think people always want to get money for working, but in the early days, you just got to get out there, haven't you? Just got to get your name out there. Start showing people what you're about, whether you get paid or not at that stage. You're at that building element, building the foundations of your business. And I think free work should be done more often. Even when you're getting to a stage where you're quite successful, it just makes you, I don't know, it just opens up other branches, I think, of your business. We still like, if someone's not doing any work at work, if someone's having a really slow day, I'd rather you be cutting for free than not cutting at all, and then that client can then become a potential client, especially when you're starting out. I think it's great to do free work.
It's really cool. I don't know if you know or not, Chris, but because you're so wild and grizzly right now, your beard is scraping on your microphone, which is kind of quite cool.
Is it?
Grizzly Adams.
I'm so hungry.
So that's quite nice. So moving on swiftly. So you Body Fit Brighton, and then where did you go from there, Francis? Because I know you grew your business really well from there.
I grew Body Fit Brighton, and that was about 5 years, 6 years, something like that. And I thought, I wanted to expand and still grow. I'd sort of hit the ceiling with clients, and just turning the adverts off when the books were full, and then turn them back on when I need to fill the books back up or get more clients. Wasn't really progressive, and it's not going to help my business grow. And every business needs to grow and expand, doesn't it, and develop. So I changed the name to the Gym Buddy, and then started to work with my PT Hub for the app site. The Trainerize it was, an American company. Yeah, and I uploaded all my own videos to it and stuff. So I wanted to take the brand, make use of what's available online. And obviously you can connect to the whole world. So I've got Body Fit Brighton's a bit too localized. So I started to move things over to that Gym Buddy thing. Done that for a couple of years. And so still working with Body Fit Brighton. Nothing really changed for the client from the client's point of view. But when I was going home, all of the courses I was doing, or the online content, and sort of trying to get that up and running. And then from then, after about a couple of years from that, I got totally transformed, another domain name, and started to put the work into that. So found, I don't know what it was about the gym, but I think at the end of the gym buddy about the end of the gym buddy time, sorry. I went through quite a bit of a fucking nosedive, to be honest, man.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the businesses in terms of Body Fit Brighton, then on to Gym Buddy, and started to develop more of the online app service, and then done some bit of online training, but it didn't really take off. As you know yourself, it takes quite a lot, and to get the systems right and to have the right message, it's quite a lot of work. So unless you're like on it and really focused, which I wasn't particularly, I was there a lot of the time, but I was busy being busy rather than like effective target driven tasks I needed to do in order to get it to launch.
That's good. That's interesting. So you've really been in it from the ground zero when it all kind of started up to now. So it's interesting that you say that. So you need to have a focused niche and a really clear message to drive people into your business. I think that's really cool. I think that's one of the biggest things I learned from you at the time. But also you opened my eyes to having a plan and a structure when you're training, and how important actually technique and form is. That was what I took away from what you did for me back in the day. I came in young and brazen, thinking you kind of know a bit about stuff, but you totally changed my perspective and showed me about technique and form. And I kind of wanted to touch on that as well, just the importance of having a good coach like yourself, which really makes the difference between getting results and not getting results. Because I think a lot of people have really good intentions, but until they drill in and focus on what they actually want to achieve and how they're going to achieve it, they won't get there. And I think that's my biggest takeaway that you taught me that's been really important. I think you had a really good message on that and a really good ethos, I guess, if that's the right word. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it's quite tempting to train clients as you train yourself, and that's how I did. That's how I did, and that's how I sort of started. And I was used to training quite intense, very heavy, training hard, really strict with the diet, really strict with the nutrition, and sort of trying to push it onto clients as well, which in all honesty wasn't the right way to go about it. Getting someone working strength in their first couple of weeks is not only dangerous, but it's not really effective. And you can turn people off by that. So over the years, it was more a case of it like pulling it back and looking a lot more at technique and form, and not really pushing them and getting them just to get the movement patterns right, make sure it's safe, make sure they're not injuring themselves. Luckily, I don't have any injuries, I don't think. The majority of the time, pretty much all the time, it was safe. It was making sure they enjoyed the workout and they were learning at the same time. So yeah, that was a bit of a learning curve as well. Is not going too hard, too fast, and just giving them a good experience when they come and see you.
I'd like to get into you and your journey a bit, if that's all right.
Yeah, man, go for it.
Obviously, I mean, you had a ridiculous physique when I met you, and then you decided to take it to the next level, didn't you?
I think I've seen a photo on your Instagram, Melissa.
What was your driving factor in deciding to compete?
I don't know, man. I mean, the gym that I was at, the underground gym, and a lot of the guys competed there. And, I do a lot of promoting around body transformations and muscle building and all of that stuff. So, I thought it was only right of me really to do it and go for the experience and document it in a way that, I could help people on a bit more of a deeper level and push myself through that discipline and to see what I could do. I'd never done it before. And I think I was at the end of a 12-week transformation I'd put myself on anyway. I thought if I do another 12 weeks, then I'll just slim right down, and then while I'm in the flow, I'll go for it. So yeah, man, for 6 months in total it was, I think. I'd done like a bulking program and then cut down. So I just put myself through the experience, so I knew what it was like, and also be able to help other people on just be more informed about what it takes to build muscle and burn fat. Really, do you know what I mean? I'm spouting it all the time. You know, I needed to know exactly what it was like.
Francis, what type of commitment did that take, mate? Were you working out most days? Like, did you ever have a cheat day? What would your like typical day be when you were aiming for that transformation?
Yeah, I mean, it was really strict. I mean, for the first 3 months, it was it wasn't so strict, but I was bulking, so it didn't matter, and I was so used to eating, you know, strict meals throughout the day anyway. So I just done that, you know. And if I wanted to have a McDonald's or a bit of chocolate or some wine at the weekend, I did. You know, it didn't make much difference because I was on the ball most of the time. You know, so but then like the second transformation, the last 12 weeks of it, it got really extreme towards then, and I spoke to a personal trainer myself to do my nutrition plan for me, just so I was accountable to it. And the end was strict. I mean, there's oats and a banana and protein shake for breakfast, and then chicken and rice for lunch, and then a mid-afternoon of a protein shake with a banana for training, and then sometimes I'd have fish and rice, but it's always fish, rice, and vegetables. Or sorry, chicken, rice, and vegetables, or protein, sauce, and vegetables. So it's like 6 meals a day. And yeah, and like the weekends I'd have like 1 bottle of wine and maybe like 2 bottles of wine, and I'd have chocolate, but I did make the effort to get dark chocolate, and because I knew I'd made myself accountable to it. I told everybody on Facebook I'm going to get on stage, you know, so I couldn't fuck about too much. You know what I was going to say, go through all this so far, and then say, oh, actually I'm not doing it now. So you know, I'm driven to stick to it, you know. But I still drank wine. I still had the odd McDonald's or the odd burger or whatever. You know, what I understand now about nutrition isn't, you know, it doesn't matter really. You can do it by flexible dieting and lose weight. But you know, you're not going to be in the best physical shape, especially for stage. You know, if you're not eating good quality carbs and that stuff and protein to rebuild the muscles and that. So I knew.
And did you find the experience? Did it like make you want to do it again, or you know, was once enough?
Nah, man. Nah, I didn't want to do it again. Fucking no way. Nah. You know what? After that, I stopped training. I just lost all interest in training. I was like, I come away from it. I was just thinking, fuck that, man. I don't want to do that to myself again, and I don't want to teach people how to do that. No, my mood dropped. My sex drive was out the window, and you know, it just wasn't any good for my health. You know, but I ended up losing my girlfriend. Well, whether that was just because of the show, but I mean, because I was so dedicated and so distracted and doing it all. Very selfish thing to do when it comes to your lifestyle, because if we didn't do anything really, do you know what I mean? It's not going to have a meal, not really enjoying our time together. But I don't know, but whatever I can blame that for various other things that went on in my life. I mean, because I started to drink a lot more, and then over the time after the show, I started to drink a lot more. I started to take more cocaine. I started gambling because I don't know, because I wasn't training. Maybe I don't know, maybe my body was still chasing that endorphin rush or the oxytocin or whatever. But after the show, over a period of, what was it? I don't know, within a year, like my life turned to shit, man. I fucking lost everything. I ended up trying to commit suicide. I drove my car down a country lane and put a pipe through the window. Mental health.
I didn't know that. That's. I'm really sorry to hear that, mate.
That's right, mate. It's life, isn't it? You know, well, it's not life, but it got pretty bad.
But you're back now, so you've gone to like massive extremes and both polar ends of the journeys of where you can go with your mental health. And it's interesting that what set you off on your negative path was actually something people associate that they think is healthy and good for you, and actually, it's not. And the bodybuilding lifestyle. You're not the first person I've heard saying all this about your low mood and how much it affects your mental health. So you might walk around looking like a god, but you're certainly not feeling like a god inside, are you?
It's not a sustainable lifestyle, is it?
No. For some people who are driven by it, and it's Instagram and they're making money from the products from it and all that, like, it's well worth them doing that and keeping in that kind of state, you know, good for them. But, you know, for the average person, it's not. It's very extreme, and it's, and it does affect other areas of your life. I think going back to the nosedive after the show, I think it's interesting. I suppose we say about looking like you're banging, shaking, everything's fantastic, because at that time everything was brilliant. Business was booming. Had a nice flat on the seafront, had loads of money, beautiful fiance, and had everything in life that I would have wished for when I first started the personal training journey, volunteering. I had everything. It was brilliant. Well, it wasn't brilliant, but had everything. But then it become like I was unhappy. I was sort of broken inside, man. It's just about money and outside stuff, Then fuck this, I don't want it, man. And then I started chasing other things with the drugs and the casino and the gambling and just getting out of my own head and that, So yeah, it's a big wake up call for me, really. It's just like, well, none of that made you happy. I literally didn't want any of it. I made a conscious effort to get rid of everything, to the point where it all went. The business went, the car went, the girl went, and then that's where I started then, took a bit of a different journey about, what's really important.
I think that's a really brave thing to do, though. A lot of people would look from that on the outside and go, you've got everything, what's wrong with you? But to actually go, no, I don't want this. And then to have the courage, that's actually really courageous, I think. Have the courage to actually go, no, I don't want this, and change everything. I think that's amazing. Kudos to you.
Well, I don't know. I mean, whether, people manage their lives, I don't know, just manage their lives and manage a business and relationship and all of that stuff, just normally, I suppose. But personally, my mental health, I suppose, and the way that I deal with problems due to the way that I've developed as a person and my experiences, my traumas and all that stuff, which is I've come to realize recently that, well, that's just one thing that is important, but that's just the way I dealt with my problems and my lifestyle. So it's not by doing the show that's going to happen to your life. It's a very personal response to whatever, So it's just my journey. It's definitely probably got anything to do with the show or the money or the girl. It's just I had unresolved things that I needed to address.
Yeah, so it brought them out and made you face them, really. Which is quite interesting that you've gone down that path to then come onto another path. What would be for people listening? What would be, there's plenty of people out there, too many people that are really struggling with mental health at the moment. What would be your top tips for people to try and come back and find themselves a little bit? I know there's no one fits everybody, but there are some things you can do to try and make things better. What have you learnt on your journey that you think would potentially help other people?
I think it depends on how far down the road you've gone, man. I mean, for me, it was drink and drugs and or class A's and all of that lot. And how it sort of came out in my behaviour was mad. I'm a completely different person when I'm just taking drugs and fucking drinking alcohol. So for me, the first thing was to just stop drinking and stop taking drugs, and then it comes to the basics. So just clearing my head was the first point of call. Just get out of the madness, because it's just so destructive. And then it's just going to the basics. So start eating proper food, get some kind of exercise. So I just go for a little run. And just start to look at yourself, really. Not look at yourself, but just think more about you, like your well-being. And I think the biggest thing for me is like choosing not to let myself live like that, man. It's like fucking why do that to yourself and everybody else, like your family and people that care about you on Facebook. And I've posted some real stupid shit on there where I've just been fucked out my head, and and that even though they're just friends or acquaintances or clients, it's still just putting out negative, bad energy. But for me, it's like I'm not going to let myself get any worse. Go live that way of life. So I had to take control. I had to snap out of it, and I had to find myself purpose.
It takes a lot of willpower, mate. Like, hats off to you with stuff you get into such a dark place. To get yourself out of that situation, it takes like so much willpower. Like hats off to you for correcting and sorting things out, because that's no easy task.
And it's tough. I mean, especially if you've got addiction and addiction involved. That's a big enough challenge for yourself, whether you're going through like a recovery program or using fellowships or counselling or whatever. You know, I think the biggest sort of shift is from then. And then once you've got your head together and you snap out of it, or you know, if you're in that position yourself or any of your readers are, then and yeah, that first step is just breaking free, like good 3 to 5 days. So right, this space of time, I'm gonna fucking get myself together, you know. And then you start, just drink some water, even, you know, whatever. And if you're drinking loads, you're drinking too much, and you can have to you know, just taper yourself off. So you say, right, I'll have a bottle of wine and 4 beers that day, I'll have 4 beers the next day, I'll have 2 beers the next day, and then that's it. Bosh, I'll get back to fucking normal. You know, and then when you're there, they say, right, now what? And then just start to look after yourself and rebuild your, you know, get your system up and running again. You start eating some fresh food, drinking water, you know, sleeping better, and just getting into a normal routine, and then you can build on it, you know. But it's like it's just like resetting yourself in it and just sorting your shit out. Then you can make things happen. You're engaged. You can think properly, you know.
So Francis, where are you now? How long ago was that, and like what's happened since that to get you to this stage?
I think a couple of months ago, I was still drinking and partying. Really, you know, a couple of months ago, still bloody not being totally responsible. And now, now I'm starting to. I've got my head clear. I'm starting to focus on things. I can see, you know, to pick things back up where I sort of left off. You know, and everything's always still been there in terms of the content and the direction and the courses and all the rest of it. I haven't stopped learning. I didn't completely switch off when I'm not being as responsible as I should be, you know. So it's just been a case of putting it all back together. So I've got the website back up and running. I've enrolled on a mental health course myself, just this morning. She's going to confirm it, just to sort of expand my knowledge around that, and then potentially move on to psychotherapy masters. But that's a bit later on down the line. So in terms of where I'm at now, I've got a direction again. I've got a more of a grounded around everything. Everything's in the right place, and it's just a case of finding out the best way to deliver it. But I'm not in any rush, really. I'm doing all of the back end stuff, and then just taking it easy. And there's no
one day at a time.
there's a lot, man. There's a lot going on there.
Do you have, like, what an epic journey you've been on. It's absolutely, well, it's incredible. But so you've come up to this point now. Let's look forward. What does your future look like for you when you visualize it? Where do you want to see yourself in like a year from now?
I think in a year from now, I'd like to develop the totally transformed service. But I'm thinking it's a bit of a toss-up, really, because you can put a lot of energy into being an online coach, which is very crowded at the moment, and there's everybody in the next door neighbor wants to do it. So, you know, it's a different kind of pressure. You know, you're on the computer all the time and you're building content and doing all of that thing. You know, it can be quite consuming. So I think at the moment I've just been working on who I'm going to serve, because at the moment I'm as you're saying before, and I've heard you saying some stuff recently about how to speak to a particular person or deliver a service to the people that you want to serve and work with. So at the moment, really, I'm working on that, who I'm going to serve. I think how I'm going to serve is going in more to like a more sort of well-being kind of approach. I'm not going to be pushing any weight loss, no muscle building or that lot. Training and weight loss will come naturally anyway from just looking after yourself. My service is going to be more about well-being. So look at mindset, sleep, hydration, and then I want to specialize in trauma. Because I believe that is the crux of a lot of deep-rooted issues that people have. And I know personally for me, that's what it's been. I've touched on it a little bit before. I've touched on it a bit myself. And I want to specialize in that and be able to help people from a coaching or counseling point of view, but from a bit more of a professional angle and a bit more in-depth and good images, good funnels, nice systems, all that shit. You know, I need to sort of step things and get my knowledge base more meaningful. So the service I'd like to think that Totally Transformed will be. I keep throwing it. No, that's cool. Will be more specific and help people on a deeper level. I mean, at the moment, I'm going to be working on the nutrition side of things. I've mentioned before, I got qualified as a nutritionist. So at the same time as building the coaching and the trauma kind of mental health background, knowledge and service. I want to be active with the nutrition blogs, giving away recipes and still doing stuff, but not actually taking on or trying to build a presence and build a client base around the online coaching thing. But there's lots of different things going on, I suppose. But I think personal development and taking time to heal myself and hopefully share my journey and what I'm doing at the moment at the same time. So still help people, but the long-term goal really is in 3 to 5 years, I'd like to think I'll be possibly, I'm still looking into it, but psychotherapy.
Yeah, man.
Trauma, yeah.
That's what an epic journey. I guess that would be a nice point to end on. I'd love to talk to you more another time, maybe, Francis. But what an epic journey that is. And it's so nice that you've come back from the brink and that you're still on your journey now. And it's also nice you saying about helping people with their mental health, because you're coming at it from a point of complete understanding, not a point of being schooled into theories of ways to help people. You can instantly relate to the people because you understand that you've been there too.
I think that's going to be such a good angle moving forward, especially with everyone is suffering to some extent, I think, at the moment. And the fact that people are going to have that trust with you rather than maybe going and speaking to someone from a professional nature like you were talking from, because having experienced stuff and then shown how much you've kind of changed things around and stuff, people are they're gonna love that, and they're gonna, believe everything you say as they should. I think that's such a good angle for your business, and also just to help people. We've mentioned before, there's no point obsessing about money. Like, money doesn't really make you overly happy, and I think people rate success on what car you drive and what your house looks like and your physique and stuff like that. But you could be crying inside. You know what I mean? And I think at the root of a business, if your main purpose is to help someone feel better, that is so powerful and is such a positive thing to have as the root of your business, the foundation of something that could really grow. I think you're on something really good there, mate. I really, really do. I haven't been in business all that long. You've been in business a lot more than me, but when I speak to people, I can tell when that passion is really there, and that's what's going to build them and make their business. And I can hear that in your voice, mate, when you speak about it. So I wish you all the best of it. It's going to be a really bright future for you, I think.
Legends.
No worries.
That's awesome. Well, thank you both very much for your time. Just before we go, do you want to just quickly plug Totally Transform one more time, Francis, where they can find you, the website?
Yeah, it's totally-transform.com. Totallytransform.com is owned by a company up in Newcastle who does liposuction and stuff like that. But mine was totally-transform.com. Yeah, check it out. I think, I've got a couple of free download recipes and stuff on there, and I'll be uploading different downloads. There'll be some stuff there you can have already. And have a look and see if there's anything that can help you along your way. If you've got any questions, and obviously if it's trainers or anybody, just send me a message on there. I'm constantly working on it. So if you have any questions about nutrition or business, whatever, send me a message on there and I'll do what I can to help.
Amazing. That's awesome. Thank you very much.